Alright, three, two, one. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. I'm Anthony Dalton. This is the Eagles versus the Cleveland Browns preview show on Friday. Today's date is November 20th, 2020. Okay, so the Eagles' opponent this week is the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns are doing better than what they usually do in past years. They're 6-3. Eagles are 3-5-1 and still struggling as an inconsistent football team. The Philadelphia Eagles opponent on Sunday, the Cleveland Browns, who come in the Sunday's game against the Eagles. They're 6-3. They're better than what they usually are in the past. What they have done in the past. The Browns, led by quarterback, 2018 first overall pick Baker Mayfield. He's kind of been inconsistent this year. He's having an average year. He's got 15 touchdown passes, 7 interceptions. He's throwing for about 1,600 yards. He's got a QB rating of 90. 90 QB rating. Baker struggled a bit in last game against one of the worst NFL teams, against the Houston Texans. They only won 10-7. Let me catch my breath real quick. Make these videos. Alright, anybody? I want my cigarette real quick. I got a pop belly going again. I don't know if it's just the camera or if this is really me. I've actually been working out a bit quite lately. Alright, so yeah, the Cleveland Browns, they beat the Houston Texans last week 10-7. They struggled beating them. Houston's one of the worst NFL teams in the league right now. Eagles have a pretty good front four, led by Fletcher Cox, Timmy Jernigan, and Vinny Curry, and Brandon Graham on the end. Pass rush. Brandon Graham's a good pass rush on the end. Let's see if he can get some pressure on Baker Mayfield. That will try to force them to throw bad passes. See if the Eagles can get turnovers this week to try and win the game. Eagles really needed to win this game. They needed to win last week against the Giants. They let the Giants game slip away from them. They let Daniel Jones look like he's some all-pro quarterback when he's a very mediocre quarterback. Again, we need Brandon Graham to get pressure off the end, and we need Fletcher Cox to push the own line up the middle, so we can get pressure on Baker Mayfield, because they don't have the running game ain't that great. They don't have a whole lot of great rushers to carry the football with an average O line, and we need on the end. We got Darius Slay. He's a shutdown corner. He's going to be covering Odell Beckham Jr. The Eagles' front four can get some pressure on Baker Mayfield this week, and Wentz is able to move the ball up and down the field like he was able to do against the Giants last week. The Philadelphia Eagles should have a pretty good chance to win this game. The Cleveland Browns, they got a young secondary too. They only have about 2 seasoned veterans in the secondary. So Wentz should be able to take advantage of that. I think this is a week where Carson Wentz can have a breakout game this year. Even though he's been struggling all year, he's shown signs that he throws some really superb passes in the breadbasket a lot. See if we can take advantage of some of them young corners. We got a young wide receiver, Travis Fulgham, who's been pretty good he's in his second year, but he's really only played. This is really his only first year playing. I think he was on the practice squad last year, but he's really done a good job this year of playing. He's made some big catches for the Eagles this year. if Wentz can have the passing day like he had last week, even though he's been inconsistent. Eagles should be able to win this game if they can get ahead. They gotta get ahead early. They get the ball first. They gotta score on that first drive. If they're on defense first, they gotta get a stop, get the ball back on a punt or whatever. And instead, and when they drive the ball down, they can't. I don't want them starting this game out with a field goal. They have to start it out with a touchdown on their first drive. Put them ahead. Let the front four go to work. Let the front four get some pressure on Baker Mayfield. Another thing for Carson Wentz, the Cleveland Browns are ranked 18th. They have the 18th ranked defense in the NFL this year. That's not bad, but that's not superb. It's around average. In the second half of the Baltimore Ravens game, Wentz looked like an all-pro. He almost brought the Eagles back in that game. So if he can play like that against this defense, he should be able to move the ball up and down the field, and they should be able to score some points and all that. And hopefully Eagles can win by maybe 2 touchdowns. I'm looking at maybe a 31-17 game. The Eagles have beaten the Cleveland Browns in the last 5 meetings. The Browns have not beat the Philadelphia Eagles since 1994. I think that's when the Browns had Eric Metcalf and Bill Belichick was their head coach. Key matchup in the game, like I mentioned before, Darius Slay is going to be covering Odell Beckham, which is their stud wide receiver. Darius Slay has been lights out for the Eagles. He's really been the only bright spot on the whole team, other than the front four. Darius Slay is their for sure Pro Bowler. Now he's got no interceptions this year. He's a free agent signed all season. He's an All Pro that was signed from the Detroit Lions. He's got no interceptions. It's because quarterbacks are afraid to throw his way. So that should be a good matchup with Odell Beckham Jr. and Darius Slay. They can do that. The Philadelphia Eagles should be able to come out of this game with a win. I know the Cleveland Browns are 6-3. They're probably in one of the best divisions of football, probably the second or third best division of football. Eagles are in the worst. I still feel like the Eagles are probably a better football team all around than the Cleveland Browns. You think about it, they got Pittsburgh, who's undefeated in their division, and the Baltimore Ravens, who are 7-3 or 8-3, something like that. They just lost to New England last Sunday, but the 6-3 in that division is good. I mean, they got blown out by the Steelers, and I think they lost to Baltimore early in the season. But Eagles almost came back in that game. They were 2-point conversion away from tying it at the end of the game. In that Baltimore game that was in Philly about a month ago. Like I said, everything goes to plan, and then the Eagles execute. I think the Philadelphia Eagles will win this game 31-17. They'll go to 4-5-1. They'll probably still be first place. So they still have that tie they had against the Bengals earlier in the season, which kind of helps their cause. And it's still anybody's division to win. So this is the Eagles pregame show leading up to the Eagles versus Browns game on Sunday in Cleveland, and I'll see you guys after the game on Sunday.